In a country like India, whatever laws you make, particularly concerned with having certain privileges, misuse will be there. We have to weigh between use and misuse. A community for which for millennia, not for short periods of time, for millennia has been discriminated against, that it is strongly believed their very birth is of a low nature. If you don't bring them up with some privileges so that they come level someday, it would be very unfair. Just because today somebody is getting some reservation and you think it is not fair because you didn't get to get into your college or whatever, I understand the angst that is there. We need to understand that's because of we have too much population for whatever infrastructure or education or the facilities we try to create. But reservation, in many ways, as I have seen, particularly in the south, maybe it's not been very well used in the north, but in the south, a whole generation of people from those communities, Dalit community, have gotten well educated, gotten well placed mainly because of reservation. Now resentment will come on various levels, so this is a little adjustment with reservations may have to be done as time goes by. See, for example, you can give admission to somebody, but you can't pass him because he belongs to a certain caste, then you're bringing down the competence levels in the country. They must be given opportunity and they must be given extra coaching to make up for whatever loss they've had due to lack of proper schooling. But we should not compromise on competence. And similarly for jobs, they must have reservations so that they can enter the job situation, but promotions must come only with competence. This adjustment needs to happen, but as we said, in a democratic process, there is always… after all, an election has to be won. Nobody dares ever to talk about any change, whether positive or negative, which concerns, because anything that concerns a particular community becomes a volatile election winning or losing kind of thing. I strongly feel that reservations in the present level of development, where the Dalits are in this country, they still need it. But if a distinction is made between urban Dalits and rural Dalits, because the maximum discrimination and disadvantage happens in rural India, they must be given far more advantage than those who are already living in urban societies. It can also be made like this: first generation, to get out of that social pit that unfortunately has been dug for them, they must be given reservation. Second generation, it must drop a little bit, third generation should be out of it. But for rural Dalits, it is very, very essential. There is no way out of that right now, because the discrimination is so cruel. So we should not underestimate this and think, oh, they are getting all unfair advantage, you must take off the reservation. No. Such people should expose themselves to the rural situations in this country, how discriminatory it is, horribly discriminatory it is. They cannot even enter your house from the main door, they have to come from the back door. That is not acceptable for any human being. They can't drink tea in a local tea shop. That is not acceptable, all right? So, this privilege of pedigree has to go, and reservation is not a curse upon the country. We can fix some timeline, 2 generations if they come out of it. Those who have come out of it should voluntarily go out of it. Something like this must be created. Dalits who have come out of it should share the reservation with those who have not come out of it. I mean, this is from responsibility only. See, these privileges we must understand are because of a certain existing injustice. We should not make the privileges themselves into another injustice. So we need a more conscious society for that. We should stop looking at people as this community, that community, because all of us have only one vote. Nobody has extra 2 votes for one person. So that means by law we're equal. Socially that has to manifest.